kashina wichawaki wadake wichawaki. So now we're going to transition over to our closing speaker, Mr. Josh Stewart from Crow Nation. And again, I just want to thank all of our students who are participating today and kind of was with us today. And then also use this evaluation. You know, that's the only way that we can make things better is if we get your input and tell us what you liked and maybe some of those things that you didn't like. And that way we can make it better for next year when we do this in person. So here's the QR code, and then I guess there's a paper copy in your agenda if you guys got it, or, you know, just do it online and we'll put this all together. So make sure to do evaluation. And then without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Mr. Stewart, who is the head basketball coach up in Lodge Grass High School in Lodge Grass, Montana. All right, Josh Stewart, take it away.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, first of all, let me give you my greeting. Alaja dupao je chezhuk, biab salagug, bihukalishtik, yugo, chu. Ijabeg, Maola, Kogon Music, Dilemichig, Dilemichig, and Alabechig. It's a beautiful day. It's a good day. It's good that you all are here. I'm blessed and humbled to be here. I grew up in the two districts on our reservation known as Mighty Few and Valley of the Chiefs. That is Wyola and Lodge Grass. And my name is Twice a Leader. That was the name I was given. And I'm just thankful. Earlier, I was in a couple of those breakouts and they talked about influences, and I thought about mine. And it's because of the influences, it's because of the leaders that were before us that make us who we are today. And someday you're going to be that in somebody's life. And I think that's why we're here. Some of the influences you may or may not know are Clayton Small. Dr. Clayton Small is an amazing individual. Theta Newbreast, Irish Pretty Paint, Joanne Kaufman, my Aunt Barbara right there, Pastor Rod Parsley, coaches Larry Blacksmith and Gordon Rilbird. He's the 5-time state champion coach of the year multiple times here at Lodge Grass on the Crow Res, and he coached Elvis Obull, arguably one of the greats in Indian country, definitely the best in Montana, and I've been very blessed and fortunate to have these influences in my life. And that's only a few. There have been others who have impacted my life a great deal. So that's just a little bit about me. Greatness, I guess. The message is simple for you guys. It's be great. Write that down. Be great. And I always wonder about that. What does it mean to be great? A lot of times it's the highlight generation. It's the YouTube generation. And so a lot of times we'll see clips of the stars, people in entertainment, people in business, people in sports, and we'll see these clips and we'll count that as greatness, when really it's just a highlight. Greatness is, if you look back over your life, you say you live 10, 20 years from now, you look back, you will see greatness when you do the little things. Greatness isn't Tom Brady down 29 comes back and wins, or Steph Curry's barrage of threes, and Jordan shot on Elo, Kobe Bryant's 81 points, LeBron James, or any of your favorite athletes and people. Those are great moments caught with the camera. Those are awesome highlights. But true greatness is doing the little things every single day. And to live a great life, you have to say yes to the hard things. And that's one thing I've learned, because I think I've gotten in my comfort zone a lot of times, and I was an autopilot, and I just cruised through, not having a vision for my life, not knowing where I was going, what I wanted to do. I didn't understand macro goals and micro focus. And a lot of what I'll share is what I share with my team and my players and my children. My two kids, my daughter's a freshman at Skyview High School in Billings. There's about 2,000 kids there. She goes to the big school, and I coached there actually for 4 years before I became the head coach here at Lodge Grass. And my son is an 8th grader, and he's about 6 foot now. He's 14, wears size 12, and he loves playing basketball. I don't know about you guys, but basketball is just huge for us. We have cross country runners and soccer players and, softball, baseball players and whatnot, volleyball players, rodeo people, powwow dancers, and people from all walks of life, artists, painters, poets. Chris, aka Superman Parrish, takes gun. He's an entertainer, but he does more than that. He's a volunteer. He serves, and he's a brother to me. And I've been very blessed and fortunate to grow up with and around him. He's also another influence in my life. But my kids, they go to the high school in Billings. So a lot of what I share with them and my team, I'm going to share with you guys a little bit. And it's just saying yes to the hard things. One thing I always share is comfort is the friend of mediocrity, the enemy of greatness. And like I said, greatness is doing the little things every single day. And you might have read the little write-up. It's doing your chores. It's using your manners. It's saying, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, please, thank you, yes, sir, no, sir. And when someone offers you something, instead of saying, I'm good, you hear that a lot. Or thanks when they give you something, or bless you, or give you time, or help you. Instead of saying thanks, I talked to my kids and my team about just saying thank you, being a little more sincere, and saying, if you have to interrupt somebody, don't just go interrupt them. Say, excuse me, I'm pressed for time. I have to ask you something. Or no, thank you. Yes, sir. And addressing people by their titles. That's one thing I talk to my kids and my team about, is if there's a coach there, call them coach. If there's a PhD person, call them doctor. If they're your teachers, call them teacher or Mr., Mrs. So-and-so. And it just goes a long way, using those manners, and picking up garbage, doing your chores, and, doing all those little things at your home, at the school, or on your team, or wherever you are. And so I feel like you do that enough, you can look back over your life and see all the people you've touched by simply being kind and using manners and showing respect and kindness to people. And you'll look back and think, sorry about that, I'm in the high school, so don't mind the few interruptions over the intercom or the bell. But you look back over your life and you'll say, wow, that's greatness right there. And you don't have to be perfect to be great. You don't have to be all together to be great. Actually, just to be a little bit real with you, being a coach, I have expectations for players. I have criteria for what a varsity player is versus a development player on JV or sophomore team or freshman team. A varsity player, there's more demand. The criteria is higher. You have to be bigger, faster, stronger, and you have to have more skill and those things. So my approach to my kids, sometimes I have to balance it. And I noticed my daughter, I feel like I am more patient, and my son, I caught myself just being hard on him. So I sent him a voice note yesterday that said, son, I just want you to know I'm proud of you. I don't want you to think you have to go through this life and be perfect. You don't have to get everything right. Matter of fact, you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to fall. You're going to fail from time to time. I don't expect you to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. I just want you to know today, I am proud of you right now where you are. Every gift you have, with all the words you share, it is enough. And I love you. And I want you guys to know that you don't have to be perfect. And someone loves you. You are worthy. Matter of fact, tell yourself that. You look in the mirror and you start brushing your teeth. If you brush your teeth, I hope you do. Look in the mirror, put some sticky notes up to remind yourself, I am great. I am worthy. I am called to greatness. I refuse to be mediocre today. I'm going to use my manners today. I'm going to say these words today. Thank you. Please. You're awesome. Nice hair, nice jacket, nice clothes. I'm going to compliment some people today. And just put it on your mirror every day as a reminder until it becomes a habit for you. That's being great. And being great isn't boosting yourself. It isn't saying, look at me, look at me. Being great is service to others until you get to a place where others are saying, look at her, look at him. Man, how can I be like that? Or what are you teaching? What are you doing? And it's an amazing feeling. And then it just goes back to humility, where this is more than me. It's beyond me. It's bigger than me. And because of that, I have to rely on a higher power, and I have to go to my mentors. I have to go to the people that I know I call great, or they live great lives, they're leaders. I go to them and say, I need help. I don't know how to do this. And it's okay to say that. So you say yes to the hard things. What are some of the hard things that you got? Think of the peer pressures: alcohol, drugs, vaping, violence, fighting, meth, all those things. Unhealthy dating. That's a crazy one. I heard Mr. James, the first speaker, talk about that a little bit. That's something we address with our team. My kids are at the age now where we talk about crushing and dating and stuff, and I just let them know, like, that's a great part of your life. It should be a wonderful time in your life where you create some amazing memories. And so be healthy when you date. Don't be a professional snagger all your life and you turn 55 and then you're all busted up and broken because you had multiple partners. You don't even know their names anymore. And you want to create lasting memories. You want to be healthy and you don't want to hurt people. Trust me, I've hurt people. I've gotten bad instruction from family members, cousins, friends, uncles, and people that said, play the field, don't fall in love, and all that stuff. And it was not healthy. I grew up without a father, had a strong mom. She was a good single mom who worked really hard, 2-3 jobs at a time. And she never made excuses. I didn't know until junior high that she had a handicap. She was always honest, a lot of discipline, hard work, no excuses. You couldn't say you're bored around her or my Aunt Mamie. It's the last thing you want to say when you're around them, because they were going to let you have it. You're not going to play video games for a month or more. And you just basically have to go ride your bike or ride your horse outside from 7 a.m. until dark. You come in, check in every now and then, eat, whatever. But I was very, very blessed and fortunate to have this mom. She was strong and she raised me around some wonderful aunties, my uncles. They were my first heroes: my Uncle Johnny, my Uncle Byron, my Uncle Carson. And Carson is probably the biggest influence in my life. So he gave me some stuff later in life after multiple mess ups and failures. He said, okay, you need some tools. Here's your tool belt. And we went to the barn. Actually, he pulled out the box of tools and he said, here's your life right now. All you have is a hammer. You can't build a house with a hammer. You need more tools. And he started adding tools. He said, you need a level. You need to measure things out, and you need this and you need this. And I started adding tools. He said, if you will let me just love you and speak into your life, hold you accountable, and maybe critique you and tell you some things you probably don't want to hear. He's like, I can add some tools to your life. He said, you're like a son to me. I love you. I had a great father and he gave me some tools, and I want to give them to you so you can be a better man. And it was hard because I agreed to it. And then along the way, I started realizing the discipline. It hurt. It was uncomfortable. But I look back on it now and I always say, Uncle, I love you. Thank you for always believing in me. Thank you for discipline. Thank you for telling me things I didn't want to hear a lot of times, letting me know that I wasn't missing out if I didn't go to the party, if I wasn't getting high or smoking and drinking and fighting. I look back on it now and man, it sure put some boundaries that kept me going in a straight line. And that's greatness. That's saying yes to the hard things. And with our team, some of the things about our team, I guess one of the things, and it's humbling, and as a coach, one of our goals, when I first got the job here at Lodgecraft, I just completed my 3rd year. The job came open and I told myself, I don't want to be an average, ordinary coach. I don't want to have a mediocre program. So I got down on my knees and I talked to the creator. I said, man, help us. We need you. Do something so great that people will have to look beyond us and say, only God could have done that. Oh, it must be the creator at work in their life, and we will give you glory. And so that's what we set out to do. And then I said, from here on, I'm going to do everything to honor you. And we're going to input these 3 C's: character, competence, and connection. The 3 C's of my coaching are character, competence, and connection. Character. I want to walk this out before the boys. I never want to expect I don't demand or expect something from them I'm not living myself. I don't give them these standards and then go out and party and drink and fool around and be crazy. I've done that before. It's hurtful. It's painful. It's bad. It delays the process to greatness. So I want to walk it out before them. And then I want them to walk it out. I'm going to have a high standard We don't address rules very much. We just talk about standard. Here's the standard. Here's the bar. Here's how we're going to operate. Here's how we're going to do things. And we set the tone with the culture building, and the culture is what drives their behavior. And that's what leads to greatness. And people from the outside start saying, man, those guys, they don't complain about refs. They don't complain. They raise their hands. They hustle to everything. They fight with a good fight, and they're intense. They play the game the right way. They're patient. They involve each other. And that's character, competence. I got to know what I'm teaching, and not only that, but I got to know who I'm teaching it to. Before, I was up at Skyview High School, got a couple thousand kids there, predominantly Caucasian, very few natives, but we had some there that were high level. At Skyview, we kicked out a lot of college players, and the head coach, Kevin Morales, did a wonderful job. He still does. One of his main players, my cousin, you may or may not have heard of him. His name's Raekwon Evans. He started for Florida State this year, last couple of years. He's been there for 3 years. He just completed his time there. High level player. He bought into stuff like this. Coaching there is different than coaching here on the res. There are a lot of single parent players that grew up the way I did, and they don't have a lot of the structure that a lot of those kids in the middle, well, I'd say it's more of a toward the upper class neighborhood at Skyview. A lot of those guys have both parents at home. They have nice houses. They do have structure. They did have a lot of the things, a lot of the provisions that we didn't have, and what our players don't have, that I know I can relate to. So talking to them the way I would to them boys, it's different. So that's why I say competence. I got to know what I'm teaching and who I'm teaching it to. What I'm teaching, our defense, we say defense wins games, rebounds wins championships. And we implement a strong, solid man-to-man denial defense where we say no middle and our high side shoulder on the wing, and keep your man in front of you, help side defense, midline, everything. A lot of technical stuff that goes to teaching all those points. And then offensively, dribble, drive, motion. A lot of people know that. We have some Princeton action. We have some flex action, some 5-out, read and react stuff. And just try to teach that stuff on a high level. And then connection. A lot of our boys, I just love them. Before the season starts, I try to let them hear, I love you, and I'm proud of you at least 1,000 times. Every player, 2-3 times, every time I see them in the hallway. Hey, what's up, Damon? What's up, DC? What's up, Ty? I love you. I'm proud of you. I checked out your grades, man. You're pushing. Some of them, it's like, hey, man, you can be better. I know you got greatness within you. Let's not settle for mediocrity. Let's go for greatness. Let's take this 72%. Don't be satisfied with it and say I'm eligible. Let's push that to 92% because you're capable. You have it. You have over 90% in 3 other classes. What's wrong with this one? Let's work on it. I'll talk to the teacher for you. Just know I'm proud of you and I love you. And I just, that over and over. And then when the season starts, they know, like, I'm with you. I hear you. I know your struggles. I also grew up without a father, but my mom said, no excuses, no complaints. You got to step up and perform your role as a man when you get out of here. And she used to say, I used to always ask her, Mom, why can't I cuss like my cousins? And how come they get to stay up all night? How come they can go eat whatever they want? I always got to eat my vegetables, and I got a curfew, and I can't go to the courts until I do my homework. And she said, son, a father's supposed to build you, give you tools, and build you to be tough for life, because life can be cold, it can be mean, it can be harsh, and you don't have that. I push you to your uncles, but me, I'm doing both roles, and I can't always be soft, because boys turn into men, and men should never be soft. And that always made sense to me, and that helped me a lot. So I share a lot of that to my team too. I'm like, guys, you're going to be tough, you're going to be strong. If you want to be great, this is what it takes. And they bought into that. Those boys that I have bought into that, and in 3 years, we got 9 championship trophies. 2 are state titles, 2 divisional titles, 3 district titles, and 2 conference titles. And those came from them buying in and working extremely hard. And that's bigger than we can ever have imagined. Like, man, that is crazy. 9 championship trophies in 3 years. Before then, Lodge Grass experienced a 30-year drought. Very few titles. district, conference, no divisional titles, definitely no state titles. So buying into this message of greatness, doing the little things every single day, working hard at home, in the classroom, and in the gym, because you can't be a champion in the gym if you're not one in the classroom. You can't be one in the classroom if you're not one at home. It always starts at home, showing respect and gratitude to your families. Matter of fact, one of the things we say when practice is over, we say practice isn't over until you go home and perform a chore. Even if you already did one, do another one. And then you verbally express gratitude to your families. Thank you, mom, dad, grandma, aunt, uncle, for the shoes. Thank you for the clothes. Thank you for the investment into my life. Thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you for the AirPods. Thank you for the phone. Thank you for all these things that are not easy to get. It costs money. It takes time. And they show up to jobs where coworkers might not be friendly. The boss might not be a good leader, but they show up every day and they do it for you. So express gratitude to your families every single day. And so from that buy-in, starting at home and showing respect, doing the chores, the families loved it. They're like, obviously they're like, thank you, coach. And it's like, no, it's not me, it's them. They're doing it. It's not me. And then the classroom teachers, I think 10 of our 12 players were honor roll students. Each year we've had the valedictorian on our team. And that's been some of the true trophies. We say bigger than any of the banners we've hung up. The real banners are their life change, their buy-in to this stuff. And so for you guys, I think wherever you're at, whatever program you're in, whatever you're doing, go for greatness. Ask questions. If you don't know, say, I don't know, I need help. It's okay to say that. And then just push to be great with your everyday life, with the friends around you, compliment people, make people feel special, make them feel great, make them feel worthy. And to think to yourself, practice isn't over until I go home and perform a chore. Even if I already did one, I'm going to go the extra mile. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do the dishes. I'm going to sweep the floor. I'm going to clean the rooms. I'm going to take the garbage out, feed the dogs, water the horses, and just go for greatness. I tell our kids this, and I'll close with this. You have one shot at life, one chance to make this thing great. There's no do-overs. It's not like a video game. It's not like a basketball game where you get multiple games, baseball, whatever. You get this life you have. It's your one shot to be great. Someday you're going to stand before the Creator and he's going to ask what you did with that one shot he gave you to be great. And think about that. It's kind of a sobering thought. Like, there's no reset button. There's no do-over. You can't get there and say, man, can I do that again? No, this is it. This is your one shot. I always think of our ancestors when I do this stuff, and I talk about this, or when we instill leadership. You think about farming. There's a whole process to it, and there's different elements. And one of them is sowing seed, right? And then there's tilling the ground, sowing the seed. There's irrigation, fertilization. There's harvesting, gathering, and supplying for future stockpiling. I think of our ancestors. They were those seeds. You think about them in the Trail of Tears, scalp bounties, the Sunday shoots. You think of the Indian Removal Act. You think of the only good Indian is a dead Indian. You know, you think of Christopher Columbus when he first came and said, they'll make good slaves. They don't even fight back, and you can pierce them with your sword and they'll freely give you everything they have. And that's hurtful. But you think of our ancestors, they gave their lives for us. They were those seeds. And then we had people fighting for generations, fighting for land, fighting for sovereignty, fighting for you at home, fighting for your water rights, fighting for you to have a good life. They were the tillers of the land. You guys, you get to reap the harvest. You get to walk out with freedom. You get to walk out with power. You get to walk out and say, I'm going to live a great life because my ancestors and the tillers of this land, the generations before me, fought. They had their hair cut off. They had their clothes changed. They were beaten for speaking their language. And they tilled for us. And we are the generation that's reaping the harvest of all of that. So don't settle. Think of your ancestors when you have those moments. And the last thing I want to say is, you come into this world, you're given a quiver full of arrows. Someday, like I said, it's going to all be over. You're going to stand before the Creator. And he's going to say, what did you do? Why is your quiver still full? Why do you still have all your arrows? Every arrow is a message. Every arrow is a responsibility. Every arrow is a talent. It's a gift. It's a song. It's a dance that you have to bless others. I think when I get there, I don't want him to say, why is your quiver full? I gave you messages. I gave you people. I gave you influences. I gave you leadership. I gave you opportunities. I gave you the Nebraska Native Youth Gathering and others. I gave you opportunities to grow as a warrior. What a sad day that'll be for a lot of people who have their quivers filled with arrows, talent, skills, messages. Leave nothing for the life after this. Use this life to be great. Use every arrow you got to influence a life for the better. And that's what I always push. That's what I always try to let people know. Man, maybe you're a beater, maybe you're an artist. Paint, do it thinking, man, I'm reaping a harvest. I'm gonna be great. This is gonna bless somebody. This is gonna help somebody. Right now, someone's on the verge of ending their life, and that's hard. I was living in Columbus, Ohio State Buckeye, just enrolled in college. My little brother took his life. That's a hard thing. I moved home to help. And I've been on the ground for 15 years here serving, using basketball as a tool, because basketball is life for us. And using that to really give tools, and then expanding beyond basketball, soccer, baseball, and dancing and singing and painting and drawing and all those things you can use to bless somebody. So you never know what someone's going through. Be that blessing that they need. Be that person that they need. Because I don't know about you guys, and I finish with this. I used to read all the time, books, fall in love with books. My Aunt Barbara is an influence in that. My Uncle Carson, probably the two big people in books for me. Fall in love with reading. So I started reading, and I'd see these old warriors, obviously Crazy Horse and Chief Plentycoo and so many others, and go down the line. I used to love reading their stories, how they lived their lives, the struggle they went through, and how they still stepped up and did the hard things. They said yes to the hard things. They jumped to the front of the battle to protect the community and fight for those that were coming behind them. I love them. And I'd read their stories, and I'd always think to myself, man, why wasn't I born then? I was born 200 years too late. Well, I learned I wasn't born 200 years too late. I was brought into the kingdom, into this world, into this time to be a warrior for my day and age. So I want you guys to know you weren't born 200 years too late. You got to take that warrior mentality in everything you do and chase greatness, doing the little things every single day. You weren't born 200 years too late, 300 years too late. You were born to be a warrior, a champion. You're born to be great right now, so that in 200 years and 300 years, they read about warriors. Let them read about you. Let them speak about you. Let them pull from your life and say, I want to be like that one. And it's hard, but you can do it. You got to break out of your comfort zone and break through the pain wall. Once you come out of your comfort zone, there's the pain wall right there. Friends who stay in the same line of work and they smoke, drink, and all that. You got to separate from that crew. On the other side of that pain wall is endless possibilities. On the other side of that pain wall is greatness. Thank you very much. And I think prayer now, or did you want me to wait? Okay. Let me say a prayer, guys. Thank you for taking a few moments. I know it was a long day. You hung in there and you listened, and I appreciate all of you. I just want to say a quick prayer. Okay. Father, we just come before you in the name of Jesus, just thanking you for every opportunity, for all the youth, the warriors, God, the individuals here who are going to be great. I pray that you just touch all of them, move in their lives, protect their families, their siblings, help them through the hard times and let them know they're not alone. Help them just form a community of strong individuals that will change this world, starting with their own homes and their own communities, their own schools. We just thank you for all the leaders here that put this together. Bless them, continue to move in their lives and give them grace for every battle, for every storm, for all the good times and the bad times. And I pray that you continue to use them to bring their influence to not only our generation, but the generations after. We just thank you for this opportunity. We give you glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, thank you, OC Earth. Thank you for that song. And just wanted to say thank you again to all of our participants out there from across the state and all the people that put this together, all the insights and prayers and concern for our young people. And our young people, hopefully you take away all of the lessons and teachings that have been shared with you today and use it in a good way. And so with that, I just want to go ahead and let you all go for the day. And I look forward to all of your evaluations and things that you think about our program here. And with that, I just want to say Palamia, Padamia, Pinagigi, Weebliha, Ahehe. Thank you all the way around to everybody that's in here. Aho. Guys, have a good day, and we'll see you in 2023. See ya.